everybody got their packets. I didn't get mine till yesterday, but thankfully the emails come through already on Thursday night, so.
No delay there.
That's what I looked at, was the email.
So if there's nothing, if everybody's had a chance to peruse them, I look for approval of the agenda for tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried.
Chair,
Packet and on the email.
who did the motion and who did the second, please?
Oh, Dennis made the motion and Leo seconded. Our last meeting was on July 15th. If nobody has any additions or corrections to the minutes, look for a motion to approve the minutes from last month.
Make a motion?
Second.
Motion by Leo, seconded by Dennis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Now, we have 3 scheduled public hearings. The first one is Northern Improvement, request for variance. Look for a motion to approve the public hearing.
Make a motion?
Motion made by Leo, seconded by Dennis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Matt?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So the applicant's seeking approval of a variance to reduce the mining road right-of-way setback on parcel ID 27.002.0100. It's in part of the fractional north half of the northeast quarter of Section 2, Township 140, Range 46, West Spring Prairie Township. And so, in the development code, we have setbacks for extractive uses such as mining. So structure, storage of excavated materials, and the excavation edge have to be set back a minimum distance of 200 feet from the right-of-way of existing roads and highways. This is something we looked at potentially changing when we did our code update. We did poll all the townships, especially the ones that do have several active pits, and none of them were interested in reducing this setback at all. They wanted to keep it at that 200 feet from the right-of-way. A lot of zoning going on here. It's in the Ag General District, has resource protection aggregate, biological, and then shoreland special protection, rivers and streams. All the other parcels in the area are zoned similarly. It's been used for agriculture and aggregate mining. There is a conditional use permit for gravel mining that was granted in 1989 on this property. It's a very large property, so the focus though is kind of on the northeast side of the property here, and looking for to allow mining operations to be located 100 feet off the southern edge of County State Aid Highway 26. The practical difficulty that the applicant provided is that there is good material within this setback that would be used in local infrastructure projects, and then also there is material down here, but this zoning district mining is not allowed or not permitted, so it kind of limits them there. And then they're also working to obtain an affidavit to allow mining within the 100-foot east property line setback as well. As you recall, if you recall, this used to require a variance, but now we're just going with the neighboring landowner permission because that was part of the variance request anyway. So how this request relates to our comprehensive plan? We have a goal to recognize the importance of aggregate resources to Clay County and the region, and to implement policies and standards to ensure sound stewardship of aggregate resources and natural biotic resources, and drafted kind of a finding for this, that the setbacks allow the county and townships to regulate proximity and type of mining activities from a county or township roadway, which balances the extraction of material with safety of traveling public. Then we have a goal to foster a balanced approach to aggregate resource extraction that is compatible with the natural resources and rural character of Clay County, and to consider cumulative impacts of existing nearby mining operations for new and expanding operations on the environment, ag lands, residential areas, and transportation infrastructure. And just noting here that other gravel extraction sites in the area have been granted similar variance requests to mine and stockpile closer than the 200-foot right-of-way setback. Probably most notably, just right across the road here, right here, is Clay County owns this property here to the north, and we received variance back in 2012 or 11, I think. Just noting that the right-of-way is 138 feet wide here, so really what they would be mining is 43 feet off of the right-of-way. Just for comparison, across the street, for Clay County's variance, for their pit across the street, that's 34 feet off the right-of-way. So this would be a 78.5% reduction. There are electrical transmission lines on the property. They should be able to mine 20 feet south of those poles as well. It was 2015 when we got the variance, and it was 31 feet, not 34, my bad. We haven't received any comments from the township, though I will note that a township official is here. The county engineer didn't have any issues with this request at all, just recommending that no stockpiling of material or berming within the variance area, with the requested variance area within the 200-foot right-of-way, just due to snow concerns on CSAH 26. Any questions for me at all? Pull this up too.
I guess more of a comment than a question, just wondering why we, in light of the two things that follow this, why we even have a 200-foot.
I think the main reason is
in the code.
it's been in the code forever, and we have at least two different township meetings have asked if they would wish to see this changed, and it was met with a resounding no. A majority of our gravel pits in the county are off of township roads, so that's kind of the reasoning there.
So
In this case, it's not. It's off of a county road. Yep.
so Spring Prairie Township could say no, but they have chose not to?
For this request, likely not, because it's not their road.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments for Matt?
No.
Would the applicant care to come up and speak? Please introduce yourself and.
I'm Jeff Reynolds with Northern Improvement Company, and Matt already did a pretty good job of explaining what we're going to be doing, but if there was any questions regarding what our plans are, we've talked to the residents that live closest to that vicinity, and we're staying well off their property lines and trying to least affect them as we can, so. This area is probably the last area in this big piece of parcel that we have here. So we're starting to reclimate the back of it to into hay fields and pasture again. So that's our plan with this too, is once we're done with it, to try to get the piles and everything out of there as fast as we can and put that land back into production.
How deep how deep are you mining?
It's a very shallow deposit, so it's like 8 to 9 feet deep, and for the most parts.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions for the applicant? Anyone in the audience care to speak for or against?
Leon Schlafman.
So, please come to the mic and state your name, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Leon Schlafman. I am one of the elected supervisors for the Spring Prairie Township. At our last meeting a week ago, we had discussed this a little bit. It doesn't affect Spring Prairie as far as one of our roads, but it is in our township, and it does affect some of our residents. We are one of those that are in agreement that we would like to maintain that 200-foot setback. We had went on record within our minutes of opposing any setbacks beyond the 200 feet. If you're going to agree to this setback, again, this is on the county property or on a county road, and we, again, don't have much say in that portion of it, but our biggest concern is we're starting to look like the lunar landscape out there. Things don't get reclaimed in a timely manner. Weeds get way out of control. I have no doubt in my mind that Northern's a good company. They're going to take care of that. I worked with a few of them, and things are a little better than they used to be. But again, if you're going to allow this variance, strict oversight would be requested from the township and the township officials. Again, we're not in agreement to having them go beyond the 200 feet. We put these rules in place, and we just want them followed, so that's all I have.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for?
So Matt, you said that the township did not get back to, didn't get back on any comment? Or,
No, I had not received any comment from the township until
oh,
now.
okay.
Yep.
I guess I just had planned on coming and talking. I didn't send anything in. We didn't send anything in.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak for or against? Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against? Anyone else in the audience wish to speak for or against or online? Hearing none, look for a motion to close the public hearing.
I have a follow-up question.
Certainly.
Townships. Have there been any complaints about this mine or any issues with weeds that haven't been addressed?
For this particular pit,
He mentioned weeds. Was it weeds you mentioned?
Lunar landscape.
Lunar landscape.
yeah, for this particular pit, no, I have not received any complaints.
Okay, hearing no further comments or questions, look for a motion to close the public hearing. Motion by Tim, seconded by Dennis. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, Northern Improvement. Need to go through the findings of fact. And as everybody knows, we must get a agreement or a yes on every condition in order for this to pass. Is granting the variance in harmony with the general purposes and intent of the Clay County Land Development Code?
Yes.
Gravel extraction and related activities are the primary use within the resource area aggregate zoning district. Is the requested variance consistent with the Clay County Comprehensive Land Use Plan?
Yes.
Does the applicant establish that there are practical difficulties in complying with the strict letter of the Clay County Land Development Code by demonstrating the applicant proposes to use the property in a reasonable manner not permitted by an official control? Exceptional or extraordinary circumstances apply to the property that do not apply generally to other properties in the same district or vicinity, and which result from lot size, shape, topography, or other circumstances over which the landowner has no control or influence. Granting the variance will not alter the essential character of the property's locality. Practical difficulties, as used in connection with the granting of a variance, mean that the property owner proposes to use the property in a reasonable manner not permitted by an official control. The plight of the landowner is due to circumstances unique to the property, not created by the landowner, and the variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. Economic considerations alone do not constitute practical difficulties. Variance shall be granted for earth-sheltered construction as defined in section 21C.06 subdivision 14 when in harmony with the official controls. And I'm going to say that
Yes.
Yes, I mean, with him saying that, you know, the gravel is relatively shallow, that easily reclaimed, I agree. Would the literal interpretation of the provisions of the Clay County Land Development Code deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same district under the terms of this ordinance?
Yes.
Is the variance being granted the minimum variance that would alleviate the practical difficulty?
Yes.
The request, yeah. Does the variance request meet all the below criteria? No variance shall be granted where any of the conditions are not met. Adequate sewage systems or water supply capabilities can be provided. The plight of the landowner or hardship is not due to circumstances created by the landowner.
Yes.
The landowner has no control over the location of the aggregate reserves on this site. Oh, yeah. The variance would not allow a use that is not already allowed in the zoning district.
Yes.
There would not be significant adverse effect on the public health or safety.
Yes.
Yep. Still need to keep 2,200 feet berm. Conditions may be imposed in the granting of a variance. A condition must be directly related to and must bear a rough proportionality to the impact created by the variance. Mining can occur as close as 43 feet from the road right-of-way of County Road 26, also called 90th Avenue North. No stockpiling of material or topsoil berm shall take place closer than 200 feet from the road right-of-way, County Road 26. And I think condition number 2 is very important and should be there. Any thoughts, or anybody want to add or modify conditions?
Nope.
Hearing none, look for a motion to approve or disapprove the variance.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Leo to approve the variance with conditions 1 and 2. Second by Tim. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Variance is granted. Next item on the agenda is a request for variance from Alexandria Gravel Products. Looking for a setback, an after-the-fact setback. Look for a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Dennis. Second by Tim. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion is carried. Public hearing is open. Matt?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You'll notice a theme with these variance requests tonight. So this applicant is seeking approval of an after-the-fact variance to reduce the mining road right-of-way setback for a scale house on parcel ID 11.007.3700. It's in the south half, the southeast quarter of Township 141, Range 44 West, Section 7, Goose Prairie Township. So again, same variance request to this specific development code section. The zoning is actually very similar to on this property. The only addition would be general floodplain. All the mining is taking place in the Ag General and Resource Protection Aggregate zoning districts, so kind of along here. It primarily is agricultural parcel for pasture and aggregate mining. They received an interim use permit to mine in 2022. And so this variance request is for a mining operation, specifically a portable scale, to be 160 feet off the property or 175 feet off the center line. The practical difficulty provided is the power supply is located at this location, and it would need to be extended. The scale would need to be extended. The scale would need to be moved and recalibrated, which would be costly. Also, the scale's likely going to be removed in 2026, and the applicant is also working on, similar to the previous request, after the fact affidavit for mining into the 100-foot property line setback. If they're not able to get that, they'll have to reclaim this fall. The comprehensive plan goals and objectives related to this request are the same as the previous hearing. Township does not have any concern. This would be Goose Prairie Township. They don't have any concern with this request. County engineer also has reviewed this, doesn't have any concerns. Also, any questions for me at all?
It's gonna be moot because they're gonna move it or be gone from there next year, but, so, did they just run power 175 feet instead of 200 feet?
I would-
Initially, when they
I-
put scale in?
I would assume that's possible. The applicant is online, so whenever it's his chance to speak, I'll let him speak to that.
Okay. Okay, anyone have any questions or comments for Matt?
How long's the scale been sitting there then?
Since at least 2022, it was previously located to the south, or there was a scale on, I believe it was this property to the south, that was destroyed in an arson fire, actually, and so then they got a new scale and moved it to the new location.
Okay, I guess hearing no other questions or comments for Matt, invite the applicant who is online, and invite him to introduce himself and talk to us.
Say, Corey, we're having difficulty here. I don't think we can hear you at all. Still nothing. Yeah, I think it's on his end. Yeah, on his end. Yeah.
You can hear us.
You can,
so-
the other thought would be I think he's going to call in. Oh, Darren, can you hear him?
So other folks that are online can hear him, but we can't.
Which is strange because we're online too, just like everyone else, so, yeah. Hey, Darren, can you just test your mic to see if you come in through the audio? No, Darren's not coming in either.
So it's IT on our end.
Hey, Matt, can you hear me at all now?
Yep.
Can hear you again,
Yes.
and again, and again.
That's weird.
And there he was, like the 30-pointer, gone.
I turned it off just because the echo. Let me see here. Okay, let's try it again now.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep. I think you might just want to hang up your phone. There we go. Yeah, I think we're good now.
All right, so we're good now?
Yep. Thanks, Corey.
You're good, go ahead, please.
Are you there?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yep.
All right, sorry about that. I don't know what the deal was.
That was our fault. Our problem.
Oh, okay.
You're
All
good.
right, so,
You're good.
no, all right, thank you, guys. So, Matt did a job explaining kind of where we're at. I think the scale was just placed there, honestly, by mistake. The power was trenched in and just placed, and nobody was really honestly thinking of the 200-foot setback. I think we're probably about 40 feet off of that. I know our lease on that pit is up in May of 2026, so that, it may or may not get removed at that point. But I guess at this point, we're just looking for a variance for just where the scale is located currently.
Okay. Anyone have any questions or comments for Corey?
Nope.
Pretty straightforward, so. Anybody in the audience or online that wishes to speak for or against? Or can I just let him go? Anybody in the audience wish to speak for or against or online? Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against? Okay, thank you, Corey.
All right, thank you, guys.
Hearing none, look for a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion?
Motion by Leo, seconded by Dennis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Is granting the variance in harmony with the general purposes and intent of the Clay County Land Development Code?
Yes.
Is the variance consistent with the Clay County Comprehensive Land Use?
Yes.
Does the applicant establish that there are practical difficulties in complying with the strict letter of the Clay County Land Development Code by demonstrating the applicant proposing to use the property in a reasonable manner not permitted by official control? Exceptional or extraordinary circumstances apply to the property that do not apply generally to the other properties in the same district or vicinity, and which result from lot size, shape, topography, or other circumstances over which the landowner has no control or influence. Granting the variance will not alter the essential character of the property's locality. Practical difficulties, as used in connection with the granting of a variance, mean the property owner proposes to use the property in a reasonable manner not permitted by an official control. The plight of the landowner is due to circumstances unique to the property, not created by the landowner, and the variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. Economic considerations alone do not constitute practical difficulties. Variances shall be granted for earth-sheltered construction as defined in section 21C.06 subdivision 14 when in harmony with the official controls. Yes.
Yes.
Would the literal interpretation of the provisions of the Clay County Land Development Code deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same district under the terms of this ordinance?
Yes.
Is the variance being granted the minimum variance that would alleviate the practical difficulty?
Yes.
Does the variance request meet all the below criteria? No variance shall be granted where any of the following conditions are not met. Adequate sewage treatment systems or water supply capabilities can be provided. The plight of the landowner or hardship is not due to circumstances created by the landowner.
Yes.
The variance would not allow a use that is not already allowed in the zoning district.
Yes.
There would not be a significant adverse effect on the public health or safety.
Yes.
Okay, and staff has one condition on here. Only the scale house can be located 175 feet off the center of County State Aid 33. No other mining activities can be located within the 200-foot right-of-way setback. Does anyone have any other conditions or adjustment to the conditions they'd like to add or subtract? Or multiply or divide?
Should there be anything in there if he's not, if they don't move it in 2026? It said their lease was up, if they're gonna keep it there extended for a few years or something, then there should be something other than that, I don't know.
So, Mr. Chair, one thing you'll have to just be cognizant of is that a variance runs with the land. So it would become a land right. So if someone else wanted to come and mine there, they could put the scale house in the same spot, essentially. If they had chose to put a scale house there. But if with this condition, if they wanted to mine up to the 200-foot right away, they wouldn't be able to without a new variance.
So we can't do a 12-month variance. You either do a variance or you don't.
Yep.
It's not like a cup or a. Okay.
Nope.
Well, and the findings of fact, they all do mention each and every time landowner. It's not the pit operator. Well, I think it was careless and short-sighted of them not to do it, but it's 40 feet.
Right.
And
3 years.
he's been
Years, yeah, at least.
4 years, coming up 5, I think.
I'm guessing someone measured from the edge of the road versus the center of the road.
Could be, or didn't measure.
Or to measure, I guess that's kind of what he said.
That's how much line they had. But, and not hearing anything from the township, there are a lot of mines up there. I mean, aggregates there and they're there and, I guess I would be okay with the condition that he has as long as the 200-foot mining setback.
Yeah.
And that would be on the operator, not necessarily the landowner. Okay, motion by Tim,
Second?
second by Dennis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Variance is granted.
Chair, did that motion include the condition?
Which condition one as printed?
Thank you.
Third hearing. Westland Excavating is also looking for a after-the-fact variance in Keene Township. Look for a motion to open the public hearing. Motion by Tim,
Second?
seconded by Dennis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Public hearing is open. Matt?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is a request from Westland Excavating for approval of an after-fact variance to reduce the mining road right-of-way setback on parcel ID 17.030.000, part of the fractional section 30, and parcel 17, .031.0100, part of fractional section 31 of Township 141, Range 45 West, Section 30 and 31, Keene Township. So that's right up here. So again, looking for a variance from the same section of our development code. The zoning here is ag general, resource protection aggregate. There is a little bit of shoreland on the far southeast of the southern parcel. It's primarily used for agriculture and aggregate mining. They did receive an interim use permit for gravel mining in 2024. So what they're looking for is essentially a after-the-fact request for mining operations, including a scale, to be located about up to 50 feet off the center line of 170th Street North, to be 17 feet off the right-of-way instead of the required 200 feet. Their practical difficulty that they provide is that the current location provides the best access to the roadway, and all the good materials located kind of hugging up against the road and the within the setback. They are working on obtaining that affidavit from the property owner through mining, which should be pretty easy because I think they're the same property owner. So, comprehensive plan, similar goals and objectives as the previous two public hearings. We didn't hear any comments from the township or anyone else about this request. There's similar variances. This is not a very well traveled road. I honestly think the only folks who really use it are the operators of these pits. Really are the main users of these two pits, and now this third one right here. Who's ever farming it? Mr. Burkin to the north, and bird watchers. That's basically all who uses it. It's not like a through road or doesn't get a lot of traffic at all. So, any questions for me at all?
How deep are they going? You said 17 feet off the road?
They'll be 17 feet off. They would have to slope it. At least 4 to 1. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's in the rules, guidelines?
Yeah, well, they couldn't have any high walls or anything like that, but yeah, final reclamation would have to be sloped, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Matt? The applicant care to come up and speak and introduce yourself and tell us what you're wanting to do?
Hi, I'm Jeff with Westland Excavating. We actually subleased this pit to Alexandria Gravel, and I didn't realize that they had stripped up that far and set their scale house there till I met up with Erica for the inspection, but I talked to all the town board members, and they were gonna be here tonight, but they couldn't make it. But they're all fine with it because it's a dead-end road and nobody really travels down it much, so I would make sure that it's sloped plenty good off of the roadway if the mining does occur up to it, I guess.
So how deep, to Leo's question, how deep are you going for gravel?
I stopped out there earlier today just to look, and I seen they had dug some holes, and they hit some nasty clay not very far down, so I would assume it's not going to be very deep, because the clay looked like it was 8-10 feet deep, and that would be too much of a burden to go through, I would think.
So what you're at, everything, the scale, is this the same scale that we talked about in the last hearing?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Well, it's not same scale, but same
Same
operator.
outfit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. And just as far as depth, I know like this Dirt Dynamics pit is fairly, I wouldn't say deep, maybe, 20 plus feet deep in some spots. This pit to the north, it's very similar to the first variance request we heard, where it's just a very thin, shallow gravel deposit, where you essentially have your topsoil, a thin layer of clay, then you have the vein of gravel, and then that more clay essentially. I think you have to go pretty deep before you have to go through a lot of clay material before you get to the next deposit, essentially.
Okay. Anyone else in the audience or online that wishes to speak and ask the applicant any questions? Anybody in the audience or online that wishes to speak on this, for or against? Anyone else in the audience or online wish to speak for or against? Thank you, Jeff. Hearing none, look for a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion?
Motion made by Leo. Second. Seconded by Tim. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Public hearing is closed. Is granting the variance in harmony with the general purposes and intent of the Clay County Land Development Code?
Yes.
Is the requested variance consistent with the Clay County Comprehensive Land Use Plan?
Yes.
Does the applicant establish that there are practical difficulties in complying with the strict letter of the Clay County Land Development Code by demonstrating the applicant proposes to use the property in a reasonable manner not permitted by an official control?
Yes.
Exceptional or extraordinary circumstances apply to the property that do not apply generally to other properties in the same district or vicinity, in which result from lot size or shape, topography, or other circumstances over which a landowner has no control or influence. Granting the variance will not alter the essential character of the property's locality. Practical difficulties, as used in connection with the granting of a variance, mean the property owner proposes to use the property in a reasonable manner not permitted by an official control. The plight of the landowner is due to circumstances unique to the property not created by the landowner, and the variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. Economic considerations alone do not constitute practical difficulties. Variances shall be granted for earth-sheltered construction as defined in section 21C.06 subdivision 14 when in harmony with the official controls. Yes. Would the literal interpretation of the provisions of the Clay County Land Development Code deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same district under the terms of the ordinance?
Yes.
Is the variance being granted the minimum variance that would alleviate the practical difficulty?
Yes.
Does the variance request meet all below criteria? No variance shall be granted where any of the following are not met. Adequate sewage treatment systems or water supply capabilities can be provided. The plight of the landowner or hardship is not due to circumstances created by the landowner.
Yes.
The variance would not allow a use that is not already allowed in that zoning district.
Yes.
There would be no significant adverse effects on public health or safety.
Yes.
Okay, and Matt and staff have 3 conditions. And I think, number 3 is important, and concerns with slope and even, dead end road and drunk somebody driving off the end. If there isn't a slope, they can't roll their car.
Drunk bird watcher?
Or somebody with a tractor and a baler.
And Mr. Chair and Board, is that a condition that you'd want to put on this variance about
Well, you
mi-
have.
minimum slope?
The slope?
Yeah,
What is required?
so 4-1,
4-1?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I had misread, I thought it was 17 feet from like the edge of the road, but it's off the right, it was 17.
It's off the right of way.
Okay.
Yep,
I was picturing like 17 feet, I was like,
off the road, yeah.
ah, okay, I misread that.
So we're golden with the 3? Okay. Hearing no further discussion, look for a motion to approve or disapprove the variance with the 3 above conditions.
So moved with conditions?
Dennis made the motion. Seconded by Tim. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Variance is granted with the 3 conditions. Thank you, everyone. Do we have any unfinished business, Mr. Matt?
I do not, Mr. Chair.
How about new business?
The only thing I just want to mention with the new businesses, did go to the land use training in Wade Park a couple weeks ago, and good training for the Board of Adjustment. Really, I think big focus was on going through the findings of fact and establishing the record, and they had some good examples of how that can be used in court cases and how it's been used in court cases and other situations across the state of Minnesota. I think like you did a good job tonight, just kind of on findings that you don't have to, you have to read each finding, you don't have to address each finding. But it is important if there's something that related to the request, the variance request, that if there's something you want to discuss, do discuss it, and that will get put in as a finding. And it's totally acceptable to just say this finding isn't applicable to this request and just not even have a yes or a no on it. That's like, for example, the septic ones for gravel pits. Yeah, they would not be, just be an NA. Yep. Yep.
Well, that doesn't reference the outhouses that they all have out there or required to have out there for mining operations?
It's really related to septic and not necessarily just bathroom facilities, because that's just how it is in Minnesota rules. But yes, if they're talking about like an interim use or permit for mining, yeah, that's something that we always have as a condition on there. Yep. I think you could broadly construe it as, yeah, you could include that in there. I think the intent though is really for septic. But yeah. So that's always going to probably be adequate, I would imagine. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, those were kind of the main takeaways from the training, just that would directly relate to the Board of Adjustment. There'll be another one in the spring, so there's usually one in the late summer and then the spring, so I'll be sure to let you know about that. That's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Anything in the cooking in the books for next month?
So far, no. So,
So if we have a meeting next month. It will be,
September 16th.
okay. Okay, anybody else have any old, new, used business to bring up? Hearing none, look for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion by Tim,
Second.
seconded by Dennis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried, meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.